Hello everyone, this is Justin, and we're doing a report on how do interests versus ideas apply to public authority and the control of violence. We have Iman, Dominique, Troy, and Katie with me as well. The first question will go to Dominique and Iman. What is a sovereign state's capacity to provide security and stability for its citizens based on interests or ideas?
So Thomas Hobbes established that it's the state's duty to secure its borders and stabilize its boundaries. I think this is an ideas-based approach in which the rule of law sets the precedent for a state's capacity to provide security and stability. In exchange, citizens give up some of their liberties for the collective good of the state and submit themselves to security and stability of the autonomous authority. Aman, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that to further explain the idea-based approach, if we take a look at Professor Jackson's explanation of his typology model, a sovereign state's capacity to provide security and stability falls under the permeable and autonomous quadrant, as the intention of the state and expectation of the citizens is for the sovereign state to provide protection. However, if states do not have capacity to provide security and stability, the interest-based approach must be considered, as the state's goal is to share its sovereignty and privatize security to achieve this goal.
The next question will go to Troy. We read the Western perspective on obtaining and maintaining nuclear weapons. Do superpower states view nuclear proliferation as an idea or interest?
Thank you for the question, Justin. I think it's pretty clear that it is in the interest-based category. If you look at it from the perspective of the superpower, the nuclear community begins in 1945, members join, and it becomes sort of a de facto nuclear club in which it's not just in their own individual national interests to continue the club as status quo, but the continued existence of weapons not being used and mad theory holding out also creates this sort of right of exclusion, this strong right of exclusion from other members joining, which is why you see outside of the nuclear community such a strong attention on those wishing to join the nuclear power community. So you see a little bit from their perspective of a causal belief structure, but it's predominantly, especially from the perspective of superpowers, a interest-based approach.
The final question will go to Katie. In a sovereign state who ultimately has control of violence, is control of violence governed by the principle-based idea, right versus wrong?
In a sovereign state, the authority has control over violence. Hobbes says that the leadership in the state appoints a judge and allows for a trial by jury. This suggests a principle-based approach with the idea that there is a difference between right and wrong. And if found guilty for violence, there is a consequence. The state is also charged with dispersing these consequences so that the punishment meets the crime.
This concludes our presentation. Thank you for your time. We hope to see you soon.